So, good afternoon, everyone. So, thank you, Anisha, and thank you, Getty, for Global Education Training Institutes, one of the best institutes, and you guys are doing an amazing job for in the training in the space. And I thank you, Anisha, for inviting and having me on this great platform. So सबको मेरा नमस्कार and I'll use both the language Hindi English so that we can reach to the maximum masses. See what आज का topic growth mindset in education. So what is that? I'll just tell you कि I'm not a teacher. मैं टीचर नहीं हूँ कि आप लोगों को मैं और कुछ बता सकूं. But looking at in the education space, last 15 साल से we are working. For the last 15 years, I am not from the education, but I thought कि there has to be a change in education. So सिर्फ बातें करने से बजाय let us do an action. So मैं एक छोटे से गांव से हूँ जो अंबेजोगाई महाराष्ट्र में आता है. सो इट इज अ वेरी स्मॉल तालुका प्लेस जहां से और वहां से भी मेरा 20 किलोमीटर पे एक छोटा सा गांव है. मम्मी पापा ने पहले से फोकस किया था कि बच्चों को अच्छी पढ़ाई करें. सो आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इन द लेट 70s 80s एंड 90s का. और एजुकेशन का महत्व उसी टाइम से था. इंडिया इज ऑलवेज ऑलवेज प्रोग्रेसिव ऑन एजुकेशन. सिर्फ वो फैसिलिटी नहीं थी. सो आई वॉज सेंट टू अ बोर्डिंग स्कूल. तो मुझे बोर्डिंग स्कूल में भेजा गया. बोर्डिंग स्कूल में भी मेरी अच्छी प्राइमरी एजुकेशन मेरा बोर्डिंग स्कूल में हुआ. फिर उसके बाद मेरा सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन अंबेजोगाई में हुआ. एंड फिर इंजीनियरिंग में आई वेंट टू औरंगाबाद, फिर पुणे, देन मुंबई. सो अगर आप देखोगे तो आई बीन टू लॉट ऑफ एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स. और तभी मुझे ना आई डोंट नो फिर कहां से स्टार्ट हुआ कि अब एजुकेशन में कुछ करना चाहिए. बिकॉज एजुकेशन दो चीजों में देयर आर टू. वन इज द स्टेट सब्जेक्ट एंड द सेंट्रल सब्जेक्ट. सो गवर्नमेंट कितना करेगा, गवर्नमेंट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन और ये सब करेगा. बट जैसा जैसा इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज चेंजिंग फॉर अ गुड, वैसा वैसा यू आर हैविंग डिफरेंट स्किल सेट. सो हम लोगों ने ये सोचा कि लेट अस डू समथिंग. सो वो सोच में से सिनर्जी ग्रुप ऑफ स्कूल्स अभी अंबेजोगाई में है. एंड वी हैव 2 CBSE schools, 21 preschools, and everything is going good. And जो intention है, the intention of synergy group is to impart value based education. बिकॉज अगर आप देखोगे तो हम सब लोग जो 80s 90s और यू कैन से 2001 जो मिलेनियल्स के पहले के हम लोग बात करेंगे, सो दे ऑल कम फ्रॉम अ रॉट लर्निंग बैकग्राउंड. हम लोगों ने बहुत रट्टा मारा है. एग्जामिनेशन हुआ, देन वी कंप्लीटली फॉरगॉट कि क्या था, क्यों था, किस लिए था. सो एप्लीकेशन ऑफ नॉलेज वाज नॉट देयर. इट वाज ओनली टेस्टिंग. जिसको अच्छे मार्क्स है तो वो स्पेसिफिक इंडस्ट्री के जाएगा. बट आफ्टर दैट व्हाट? एंड लेटर ऑन व्हेन यू मूव टुवर्ड्स योर 40s, आप अगर 40s और 50s में जाते तो अरे यार आई थॉट ऑफ डूइंग दिस इन लाइफ, बट इट्स टू लेट देन. लेकिन अभी के इफ यू सी नाउ इन टर्म्स ऑफ दिस थिंग, देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड लेट. हम लोग लेट बोल ही नहीं सकते. इफ यू सी एजुकेशन, इंडियन एजुकेशन 70 प्लस इयर्स, इंडियन एजुकेशन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इज हैपनिंग एट अ लोअर स्पीड. मैं नहीं बोलता हूं कि ट्रांसफॉर इज नॉट हैपनिंग. ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इज हैपनिंग, बट एट व्हाट? एट अ स्मॉलर स्पेस. If we really want to, because students from India have shown extraordinary skills when they go outside, when they go in all the foreign countries. If you see, all of them have mastered everything. But when it comes to Indian, in terms of everything, there is a fallback. So why it is a fallback? So मेरा ये कहना है कि it is completely about the mindset. So अगर हमने थोड़ा भी mindset, education का mindset shift किया, so there will be tremendous changes. एसर का yesterday रिपोर्ट पब्लिश हुआ है, एसर का ASER. और आपको पता है कि 12 करोड़ लोग which is 50% of the population still studies in unaided private school. वो संख्या बढ़ रही है. Why it is happening? 12 crore is not a small figure. They are studying in private unaided schools. क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि हर फैमिली मेंबर को, every parent wants them to be in a different kind of world, and everyone knows education, how education is important. ना हम लोग ये बात नहीं कर सकते कि फर्स्ट टाइम लर्नर्स कितने में से. So after 70 years, if at all we are finding first learners, then it is a failure. हमारा फेलियर है एज एन एजुकेशन, इज अ फेलियर. क्या फर्स्ट टाइम लर्नर्स हम लोग आफ्टर 70 years of independence, that is not accepted. Yes, India is very big country, but why there is a drastic change towards private unaided school? There might be something, and we will not go into debate on that, but mindset change है. And वो mindset क्या होना चाहिए? It should be the growth mindset. अभी what is growth mindset? See, we come from a fixed mindset. हम लोग कितने तो सालों से अगर ये चीज ऐसे करनी है ना तो ऐसे ही करनी है. दिस इज द ओनली वे यू टू डू इट. ये अपना वी हैव बीन पुट ऑन टू, लाइक पहले से हम लोग ए फॉर एप्पल, अभी तक एप्पल चेंज नहीं हुआ. बी फॉर बॉय, अभी तक बॉय चेंज नहीं हुआ. सो फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट. सेकेंड फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट है कि टेबल्स, जो हम लोगों को टेबल्स, हम लोग रट्टा मत है 26 30, ये टेबल्स वी रियली लर्न बाय हार्ट. Sometimes it is good, but what is the use if at all I am not able to apply this? And nowadays, if at all there is an application, आज भी अगर if at all I have done my tables to 29 or 30, I still use a calculator. So fixed mindset hai. We come, most of the education is coming from the fixed mind. But what has happened in the last 120 days? 120 days COVID, there's lot of discussion. Like Global Education Training Institute is doing a lot of awareness कि हम लोग how impact it is going to have, and lot of discussions are happen. Lot of policy makers are there on channels, on there on Facebook Live to ensure that it's time to change. I say education एक बड़ा एलिफेंट है, उसको मोड़ने में थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, बट इट विल ऑलवेज डू. पहले स्लो लगता था, बट इन 120 days will really change how the education is implemented, how education is being here. In the entire 4 months, if you see edtech companies, आपको एक चीज बताओ कि देयर आर लॉट ऑफ edtech कंपनीज आ गए. edtech कंपनीज क्या कि हम लोग we all see about students having more screen time, right? Yes, it is bound to have more screen time, but if you see the other side of the story, they are also having personal learning. पहले कैसा था, 40 लोगों में स्टडी करने के बजाय अभी he can have a personal learning. Isn't it a good? Yes, but face time is also there, screen time is also there. So how do you differentiate in that? See, 80s or 90s में we already went, when we were in schools, we were always told one essay to be written. हम लोगों को एक निबंध दिया ही जाता था. Science sharp क्यों वरदान, और इट इज साइंस, इज इट अ बून और अ कर्स, और हमने 10 बार लिखा है. सो फॉर एवरी टेक्नोलॉजी देयर इज द अदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी आल्सो. बट व्हाट I have learned from lot of my trainers, lot of my mentors, see, whatever you focus on expands. So आज अपने we need to focus on what is the best platforms we can give to our students. And the best place, सबसे बड़ा open mindset और growth mindset is teachers. So teachers, I should not say this, but teachers come from a different background, different mindset. कैसा mindset से आते हैं कि anyone getting good marks, anyone getting higher marks, they move on to your medicine or your engineering or your एग्रीकल्चर और लॉ है, और उसमें से किसी को कुछ नहीं आता है तो देन दे गो टू द बीएड एंड डीएड, he will let's go for a teacher job, and they think themselves I am at the bottom of the rank, I am at the bottom of the pyramid. It's not the case. Or because our focus was, all the education, all the teachers focus was to get jobs, and that is why there is a complete diversion in education. So my my take is, अगर हम लोगों को टीचर्स को एक बड़ा पिक्चर दिखा दिया, कि if we find at least 40-50% of passionate teachers, education is going to be a complete different perspective, because teachers impact on student is very high, if you agree or not. टीचर्स का इम्पैक्ट बहुत है, सो टीचर्स हैज टू बी इन द हायर एनर्जी जोन एवरी टाइम, क्योंकि बिकॉज घर में इफ यू सी इन द हाउस दे नॉट लिसन टू द पेरेंट्स, बट एक टीचर का कॉल आ जाएगा, सो दे से कि नहीं नहीं टीचर आई डू दिस, टीचर आई डू दिस, सो दैट्स द इम्पैक्ट स्टूडेंट्स आर हैविंग. और इसलिए ग्रोथ माइंडसेट इन एजुकेशन का पहला पड़ाव है कि टीचर्स को हम लोग हाउ वी कैन एम्पावर देम, how we can give them the respectable position, the respectable thing, but it should not be one way, it should be a two way. Teacher should always aspire to learn upgrade, because at present students are more smarter in using technology than the teachers, but still teachers have done tremendous job in the last 4.5 months. And I can tell you my story at Synergy National Schools. The teachers have done extremely. We being from the one of the smallest town in Ambezogai, in 15 days when it was locked down, 18th March को, so 26th, 27th March, the entire team at Synergy shifted on to technology. So the teachers were very agile. उन्होंने फटाफट सीख लिया कि जूम कैसा यूज करना है, टेक्नोलॉजी. इतने साल से they were not, it was reluctant, कि क्या होता है ना कि whenever there is a challenge, we try to accept the change, because if you agree or not, change is constant and change is always for good. If you see कि ये change होगा मेरा ये नहीं, because change हमारे लाइफ में अनसर्टनिटी लाता है, और हमारा लाइफ फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट में सर्टेनिटी में जीना चाहता है. वी ऑलवेज वांट टू लिव इन सर्टेनिटी, बट व्हेन इट्स अनसर्टेनिटी योर ग्रोथ हैपेंस. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू एग्री कि whenever there is uncertainty your growth is happening? 120 days of lockdown, lot of people have grown. ऐसा नहीं कि घर में बैठे, but they have grown in terms of knowledge, in terms of acquiring, in terms of strategizing the entire career ahead. But uncertainty, so change is always good, and this change, when there is a lockdown, okay, nobody thought, 100 years में किसी ने भी नहीं सोचा था कि ऐसा कुछ टाइम आ जाता है कि सब जन घर पे, there is lockdown, and the government is doing extremely good, because what they see in the government also, there are not many people who can really handle such situations, but they are doing their best, and I should really thank all the governments who are extremely doing that. But when it comes to education, so education अभी we think that education non essential में एक साल गए तो क्या होता है, it's not the case. 12th के बाद भी कभी कभी हम लोग ड्रॉप लेते हैं, लाइफ में हमको एक एक दो दो साल जॉब्स नहीं होता है, 1 or 2 years वी डोंट एनीथिंग, सो कुछ नहीं होता है लाइफ में. लाइफ में लर्निंग इज नेवर एंडिंग. इफ यू स्टॉप लर्निंग इन लाइफ, then you are not growing. And I always talk about if you are not growing, you are dying. So you should always be in a position of learning, whatever matter. Age is not bar. Age bar nahi hai. So I've come to a lot of teachers across, because I do a lot of sessions with other schools also most of the time. That's my passion. I don't do it professionally, but that's my passion. So Most of the teachers feel कि यार now it's my age, why should I go for learning? But age should not, because now technology is coming. So agar if somebody doesn't know how to use technology abhi, if somebody is not using technology, how are they going to connect with the students? So मेरी सबको एक विनती है, I really urge all the teachers who are listening here, try to get upgrade yourself slowly and steadily. See, ये नहीं कि you should really go completely on the spear. But if we have, if we focus on changing the blueprint of our source of education, only then there is growth. And I always believe in changing the blueprint, whether the blueprint is of money or blueprint of your career growth. And every 2 years you have to change the blueprint. You cannot stay the same every year and do the same thing again and again, or expect different results. उसको हम लोग insanity बोलते हैं. Now education has to be in different sphere. Like education, CBSE का क्या कहना है कि you should have infrastructure पे focus ज्यादा होता है. But why not focus on the outcome? Why not focus on the application of knowledge? कि ठीक है, I don't know XYZ subject, but at least when I apply that, I'll see to it that अरे यार ये चीज ऐसी की जाती है. So experimenting, doing the earlier it was not the case, but now we have all the sources to do that. So teachers and school management should really focus on that. So other point I would really want to focus on the growth mindset is about multiple intelligence. Like Howard Gardner, who is one of the fathers of designing this theory, every student, whenever he comes to a school, he has inbuilt 8 intelligence. नहीं तो हम लोगों को क्या कहना है कि इसका IQ कितना है और nowadays इसका EQ कितना है. So IQ पे बहुत अपन ही करते हैं. Then we go to the EQ section also, and now SQ. There are a lot of things because it is evolving. But his theory is multiple intelligence. So parents, teachers should identify कि ये बच्चे का कौन सा intelligence strong है. And if we focus on that strong intelligence, I don't think that child will really be pushed to do education. He'll really like the way education is done. See, in 80s 90s में क्या होता था कि जो मेरा वीक सब्जेक्ट है उस पे ज्यादा फोकस होता था. सपोज आई एम वीक इन मैथ्स, तो मुझे बोला जाता था कि मैथ्स की ट्यूशंस लगाओ, मैथ्स पे फोकस. Was I'm weak at that and I need to focus on that only, and my stronger subjects which I can really explore in life, that are not being in picture only. And then I really dislike the tuitions. I really dislike it. Was ये tuition क्या? If you see tuition जाने के लिए most of the students will have a different face. घर वाले बोलते हैं इसलिए जाना है. Because my view of education is education in India is by default. It is not by choice. अगर किस बच्चों को choice दे दोगे ना तो they will not. अगर मुझे choice दिया होता ना तो मैं बोलता क्यों स्कूल जाने का है. But default. And what happens after default is मार्क्स ले लो. मार्क्स लेने के बाद आई गो टू अ गुड ग्रेजुएशन कॉलेज, फिर उसमें भी मार्क्स ले लो. देन आई गो टू एंड देन आई जॉब्स. जॉब में भी देन आई हैव माय EMIs, देन आई गेट मैरिड. So you are in that stuck of year. But how do we change that? How do we change that? As education, we should think about that. If we create a choice, अगर हम लोगों को स्टूडेंट्स और टीचर्स के क्रिएट में चॉइस rather than decide, if we do that, that is going to be an amazing feeling for the student in the entire space. Because if you know, there are 3,000 careers, and India by 2030 is going to be the second largest economy in the world, if you like it or not. But then in 2030, what are the skills required? So apna focus in growth mindset, it is all about focusing on the skills. Aj, if I want to know something, I can go on Google and I can search. Education knowledge is not important. Knowledge is important when it is implemented. Application of knowledge is important, and that is the core. And in student structure, if you see the educator, the teacher, we should focus on creating job givers then job seekers. हम लोगों का वही कहना है कि लाइफ में क्या बनना है. So we'll always focus in the school structure. If you ask anybody कि क्या बनना है, so job seekers के लिए हम लोग ज्यादा focus हो जाता है. But rather than job seekers, our focus should be job providers. That will completely change the economy. That will completely change the aspect of the student. If you know, आज भी if at all life is 6 years down the line, if I'm studying, if I'm doing something for the job that I want in 2025, you never know by 2025 जिस job के लिए हम लोग सोच रहे थे वो job रहेगा भी नहीं है. फिर क्या करोगे अब तभी? तो तभी आप जिंदा रहोगे और तभी सर्वाइवल करोगे if you have better skills. And in any of the decade, these are the four skills that will survive. फिर वो 19th century हो, 20th century, 22nd century और 12th century, जिसके पास ये चार skills थे, and if you can go back with all the leaders we have learned, तो यही चार skills निकलते हैं उनमें से. The four C's of the skills. The first one is creativity. The second one was critical thinking. The third one is communication skills. And the fourth one is collaborative skills, teamwork. If you go to any decade, if you go to any of the top successful, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, successful का definition is not in terms of उसके पास कितना पैसा है. Successful का definition है कि what he has achieved in life. And we have lot of stories about that. Like in the last 2-3 years, Padma Shri and Padma Vibhushan, people are getting. कहाँ से मिल रहा है? They were not in that elite sphere, but they have been recognized. So if you see everyone, like we in Maharashtra, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj has been in our role model for every one of us. The way he took the entire, but if you see the skills, he completely four skills were there, and this is required. And when you have these skills, in any breakdowns or any downfalls, like the COVID also, you will survive, and you will survive with flying colors. So that's the output of growth mindset. And growth mindset के लिए कुछ नहीं, it is not like that is where I come from, being from a small town and now moving to, I've done all the corporate life देखा है, सब कुछ देखा है, I've done Pune, I've done Mumbai. Everyone it is at a level. ऐसा नहीं है कि I'm from a village इसलिए I don't get that. Now you cannot have reasons. You cannot have reasons कि मुझे ये नहीं था, and we cannot give reasons to the students also. हम लोग वो स्टोरी नहीं बता सकते कि मैं मेरे जमाने में लाइट के नीचे बैठ के पढ़ाई किया, मेरे जमाने में टेलीफोन नहीं था, हम लोग क्या व्हाट्सएप नहीं था. बॉस, दैट वाज योर way of living, but now the way of living is different. Let's not compare. Let's try to compare apple to apple. And whatever knowledge we give, let us at least ensure that this application, how students are applicating into this. So growth mindset is an open mindset. And if you see post COVID, like homework, I mean, that word has to be disregarded. Homework, what is homework? Homework, work यानी क्या? काम ही है शेवटी. What? Why not home learning? We need to use the words effectively. Home learning. Like abhi they'll be coming up in a new breed of students will come, homeschooling and home learning. Like the definition of homeschooling is parent supported and parent guided. Homeschooling है. Why should they go to school? कोई जरूरत नहीं है अभी. It is coming because everything is available. And home learning is teacher supported. teachers guided, and parents supported. So now, as parents also, we cannot completely rely on what is happening in the schools. We have to have some time, because अभी कैसा होता है कि we have one or two, ऐसा नहीं कि पहले जैसा कि there are 4 5 children because we always live, हम जिस जमाने से आते हैं वो जॉइंट फैमिलीज में आते हैं, so there are 7 8 children playing, पता नहीं चलता है क्या होता है, but at least now 2 or 3, we have 2 or 3, but rather than focusing on कि उन्होंने ये करना चाहिए, होमवर्क किया क्या, वो किया क्या, what is his multiple intelligence, what are the strong points of my child, what does he or she likes. अगर उसको मैंने एक अगर इवेंट दे दिया, if at all, if she is in the secondary or middle school and you have events in your family, give them the space to event, to do whatever creativity, let them fail, but let them do all the family events. So उसमें से leadership develop हो जाएगी. Then whatever failures, because if you see in life, success will only go to them who have failed in life. So failures are the first step of success, and we don't want our children to fail in schools also. So that's absurd. Let them fail. They'll realize what is the importance, and that is where most of the high IQ students, they are completely into that zone, and when they fail in life in the higher stage, they get depressed or depression में चले जाते हैं. They have complete breakdowns. Why? Because they have never failed in life. So growth mindset say it has to have both the things. You should have failures also, and you should have the highs also. I know a lot of people, like हमारे क्लास में विजय नाम का एक whenever school, he was like कि ठीक है कि it was happy go lucky, लेकिन most of most of the people said कि वो लाइफ में कुछ नहीं कर सकता है, he is hopeless. But now if you see, he is one of the best industrialists. He is giving more than 500 people jobs. So उसका एजुकेशन हुआ कि सबको लगता था उसका कुछ क्या है, कुछ कर नहीं सकता लाइफ में. So it's not about that. It's about how you face it. So failures are not that about losing 1 or 2 marks. Like abhi, most of the results have been open, and I, on behalf of Synergy, I congratulate everyone for amazingly amazing, doing extremely good, and people who have really cleared everything. So I would really appreciate people who have got 50 60 marks also, because that is the first step. Life में बहुत एग्जाम्स आ जाएंगे, but how do you face that? See, my definition of a school, I will be completely, the vision of Synergy is completely different. The vision of Synergy is, it is a simple format. I don't want to get complicated in all the things, because life is, at the end, life is all about being happy. How many of you agree? It is all about being happy. So vision of the school Synergy is for the development of a child who can be healthy. क्योंकि देखो अभी healthy होना है, then you should be happy, you should be inventive, and be a responsible citizen of the world. So this is the only vision. Any student of the school, if he is happy, he is healthy, he is inventive. I don't like studying this, I'll do this and I'll study this. And responsible citizen. Because we talk about responsibilities as a citizens, but we as parents, how much we follow. Like government says, don't move out of the house in lockdown, हम लोग जाएंगे. Wear mask, will not wear, because responsibility किधर आती है, मुझे कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. So if we apply this, and just keeping complicated, it's not about scoring marks. Yes, it is a need of the day, but according to that, every school will focus on 10% of students. But what about the 80% of students who are 60 70 80 marks? Don't they have the right to really excel in life? I say yes, we should be focused on that, and we should skill them. And the excellent school का definition, see, मैं एक स्कूल में से कि इतने बच्चे हो जाते हैं, because I know a lot of schools कि वो are producing extraordinary results. But if you see the cutoff rate is very high, so your intake admission is so high, so obviously you will do obviously. But जिसको कुछ भी नहीं आता ऐसे schools बहुत है. I can see like most of the जिला परिषद schools or the government schools intake के लिए कुछ भी नहीं, but they are doing extremely good. So we should be really, that schools are really good. कि जिसको कुछ भी नहीं आता है उसको एटलीस्ट 70-80 तक हाउ वी कैन पुल ऑन देम. बट मेरा इंटेक इज 90-95 है, एंड देन आई से आई हैव क्रिएटेड सो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स आउट ऑफ दिस because they are originally, they have focus students. So as education we should really, and because we are targeting only for 1% of the seats that we are fighting, because growth mindset के we should take everyone together. So how do we do that? So everyone, so इसलिए मेरा एक ही कहना है कि excellent school का definition, three points I say most of the time, three pillars. One is create a hobby. Every student, every student in your school should have at least one hobby that is well enjoyed. हॉबी तो हमारे में वी हैव, बट लिखते समय हम लोग लिखते हैं रीडिंग हॉबी राइटिंग, लेकिन इज इट रियली हॉबी और लिखने के लिए लिखते हैं? सो स्कूल शुड डेवलप वन हॉबी विच इज रियली enjoyed. The second one is sports. One good sport, whichever sport it is, but well played, whatever it is, क्योंकि आज बहुत importance है उसका, and that is well played. And the third one is any examination, any government examination, if we have a mark on that, कि जिसमें 60 plus marks आ जाते हैं. So this is an excellent school because now you are taking a holistic approach, और holistic approach में ही सब growth improve हो जाते हैं. We don't play sports, we all play sports, individual sports. When it comes to group like football, basketball, that's team playing. उसमें से क्या होता है, टीम किसको पास करना है, हाउ डू आई ड्रिबल इट, हाउ डू आई सी दिस, हाउ डू आई, वी डोंट प्ले दैट क्योंकि our focus is mostly on that. So sports is one of the aspect, hobby is one of the which opens your mind, which opens your creativity, which opens your critical thinking levels. Hobby. So in any of the skills. So if at all, I would really love to say कि now it's time. We cannot have number of reasons. See, government is doing at their job level. We as educators, we need to do our job at our levels. If we cannot change anything, let us not focus on that and let's do what is in our control. There is lot of talks about कि parents are not giving fees, फिर schools online होंगे नहीं, then government is telling parents also, there is a lot of confusion. So confusion में, इतने confusion में हम लोग ये एक ही focus कर सकते कि हमारे हाथ में क्या है, what is that we can see. If we start focusing on negative, it is going to increase. So as educators, as teachers, we need to focus on what is the, because this time is also going to pass, but this time निकल जाने के बाद, what is the learnings that I have done in this last 120 days? As a human being, have I really increased? और फिर क्या मैं 40 दिनों 120 डेज में यही फोकस किया कि गवर्नमेंट कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, स्कूल्स में अभी पेरेंट्स पे नहीं करेंगे तो हमारे जॉब का क्या होगा, अभी हम लोग कहाँ जाएंगे? If we start doing that, we are not growing. So हमारा, so growth mindset वालों ने क्या किया होगा? They might have attended lot of like Getty, they are doing a lot of trainings, listening to all these seminars, listening to, so upgrading. So growth mind is always flexible. It is always in the learning zone, and education is now on the mode. Education is completely going to be in a different turn because now personalized learning is going to have more focus because now children have the choice to select their teachers because of the online section. They can choose teachers. So it is completely disruptive. So how we as teachers can be really good, how passionate we are. Passionate का ये मतलब है कि 18 hours if I do that, I don't feel like अरे यार I'm tired. because most of the teachers are doing extremely well in terms of handling the house front, handling the school front, and their professional growth. But as human beings, we should always be in the growth quadrant. And growth quadrant is where when there is uncertainty, there is change, and we need to be in that. So if we are comfortable, if we are in the comfort zone, it is going to be difficult. 80-90% are going to be in the comfort zone, but whoever is growing is moving out of a comfort zone. और ऐसी चीज करो कि जो आपने लाइफ में कभी किया नहीं होगा. Do that because it will help you grow. Like Brian Tracy का एक बुक है, Eat the Frog. So I would urge everyone to read that, Eat the Frog, क्योंकि वो आपको अनकंफर्ट जोन में, नॉन कंफर्ट जोन में लेके जाएगा. Then Think and Grow Rich is one of the best books you can read. उसको जैसा लाइफ में हमने स्कूल्स में रट्टा मारा था ना, ये दो तीन बुक्स को रट्टा मारो. It will at least give you and completely different life set कि बॉस रट्टा मारा था लेकिन अच्छा मारा है, और उसने जो पॉइंट्स किया उसमें एक्शंस क्या हुए. टेक स्मॉल एक्शंस. सी यू as human beings we cannot take bigger action. अगर मुझे माउंट एवरेस्ट जाना है तो बॉस मुझे पहले तो बेस पे तो जाना पड़ेगा. So take small actions, and small actions will give amazing results. So that is what Jay Shetty really speaks very well about all this. So वो क्या बोलता है कि one is be in the space of coaching. 3 C's उसने बोला है. One is being the source of coaching, and the second, the first C is coaching. The second C is capacity building. कि हम लोग how we can go into that capacity building में, how we can upgrade ourselves with one skill, not many but at least one skill. And community, आपके आजू बाजू में कौन लोग हैं. So if you have energy people around you, your community, you will grow. लेकिन if you have all the negative people around you, every time they'll speak about negative, you are degrowthing. Shift on to a different, because if you grow on the higher, your network is completely changing. So आपके आजू बाजू वाले ना energetic, your community, develop a community which is really energetic. कुछ भी हो जाए boss, right, we are going to do good. So when people come out of these language, so it is all about the word. हम लोग कैसा use. See, everybody in life has breakdowns, but are we going to stop at the breakdowns, or are we creating breakthroughs? So that's in our hand, that the actions will depend. So मेरा teachers को, parents, if some, all of them, parents, teachers, management, everyone, let us move our mindset. Let us change the blueprint of our mindset for higher growth in education. Let us really, and it is not long. And if at all we try to completely change, if we try to really analyze what is happening, what are the future, because for India, future is one of the best. It is going to be the best future in next 10 years. If you analyze the last 10 years and if you see the coming 10 years, our students are going to be, some of the students are going to be the world leaders. And is a world leader from your school, is a world leader from your town. That is what we have to see. And technology, yes, technology is going to be a complete game changer, reaching to the masses. फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट को अभी एजुकेशन यही तरीके से होता है. Like now, if you find lot of new normal, एक word आ गया, new normal. It's not normal, it's a new normal. People are talking about the Gurukul Paddhat of education. It was open. It was focused on the complete philosophy. So is it right? Is it not wrong or whatever? I'm not the person to really give it. But I would really say कि our mindset as human beings, our mindset as humans, or growth. Like there are two things only: the need. I don't know how many of you know Maslow's theory of life. So, but if you see Tony Robbins, he speaks about two spiritual need. One is growth, and the other one is contribution. Growth and contribution are the biggest needs of human being. खुद की growth, community growth, सबकी growth and contribution. So whatever we are doing in education is contributing to the society. Whatever the COVID warriors are doing, they are contributing to the society. So ये need है सबकी. We do small things because that fulfills our need of contributing, and that is why people contribute in a bigger way. So these two needs are really important to identify in the growth mindset. So what's your need? Is it growth and contribution or both? So that's the question. And that's the question I would like to ask every one of you. How you are going to take an action to really change the blueprint from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? And what are the actions that you are going to take in the coming 90 days? So thank you very much. So if you have any questions, I'm open to. Anisha, I'm not. Yeah. So your voice is. You can mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Anisha, you can mute yourself. Mute yourself. So that was my my submission to every one of you. So I think there is a technical problem on the side. So technical hitches hai, and we have to live with all the technology. Hello. So there was three questions which Anisha has called me and phoned me. So तीन questions ऐसे थे कि 8 9 10th के बच्चों में ना बहुत सारी नेगेटिविटी आ जाती है. So why negativity comes across is that there are three four reasons. One is peer pressure. और पीयर प्रेशर में उसकी एक नीड होती है सिग्निफिकेंस की. देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस आल्सो, कि मुझे लोगों को बताना पड़ता है कि मैं कितना ये हूं. सो सिग्निफिकेंस के लिए द फर्स्ट फैक्टर ही गोज टू डू नेगेटिव थिंग्स, क्योंकि नेगेटिव थिंग्स ज्यादा अट्रैक्ट करते हैं. सो इफ यू सी देयर आर टू ट्विंस, अगर इफ यू से ट्विन, एक ये ही इज वेरी ऑनेस्ट एंड समथिंग एंड समवन इज वेरी मिस्चीवियस. ये दोनों में क्या फर्क है? दोनों तो ट्विंस है, सबको अच्छा है, बट एक की सिग्निफिकेंस नीड अलग है, नीड अलग है, सिग्निफिकेंस मुझे बताना है. So students will always say कि how good I am, मैंने ये किया, मैंने, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने बच्चों में बहुत stories, हम लोगों ने भी दिया है stories. So whenever you come across all these things with them, you just have to sit with them. You just have to see the growth. See, now that is what psychology is going to be the biggest way to understand human beings. पहले जैसा वी कैन नॉट फोर्स, इन्हें बदलना है, बस बदलना है, क्या बदलना है मुझे बताओ तो क्या बदलना है. So we need to sit with the students. We have to have a conversation. क्योंकि क्या होता है ना, the students come from fixed mindset of घर पे. Most of the time he gets influenced by two things. One is the peer group around him and the second one is home. क्योंकि घर पे if at all the parents have good things, if the atmosphere is good at home, you will find the student performing. If there is something wrong there, it reflects on the student, and then he starts finding space for himself in schools in doing all these naughty things. So पहले तो ना, as school leaders, we need to identify where is this coming from. When you find the source, it is very easy. It is not easy. लेकिन हम लोगों को टाइम नहीं है, हम लोग बोले कौन सोर्स ढूंढेगा. But as a teacher, if we have open mind to identify why must he doing the same thing again and again, कितनी बार बोला, punishment नहीं हो सकता अभी. You cannot punish students now. There is, वो बोलते ना, वो गया, वो जमाना गया जहाँ पे मारा, ये कि हम लोग हमने खाया मार अच्छा, लेकिन हम लोग बच्चों को नहीं करते बिकॉज दे आर कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट माइंडसेट के बच्चे. So you have to be in a complete. So we have to develop that skill set to really understand. And teachers now should really work on emotional empathy (EQ), because that is where the student will start opening up. I know a lot of students in our school also were on the same thing, but teachers, when they sat with them, when they understand, they could find out the reason, but most of the things were happening at home. They were not happy with what was happening at home. And lot of parents अपने खुद के विचार जो होते हैं ना, वो बच्चों पे डाल देते हैं कि तुझे कुछ भी हो जाए, तुझे इंजीनियरिंग करना है. मैंने लाइफ में तो कुछ नहीं किया, क्योंकि उन्होंने तो अपने पेरेंट्स का सुना ही नहीं है. एंड नाउ दे एक्सपेक्ट कि मेरा मेरा बच्चा सुने. हाउ कैन इट बी दैट? सो व्हाट गोज अराउंड कम्स अराउंड. जो हमने अपने मम्मी पापा का सुना नहीं, हमारे बच्चे भी नहीं सुनेंगे. दैट इज द, हम लोग किसी में जाओ, व्हाट गोज अराउंड कम्स अराउंड. सो बच्चों को ये मत बोलो कि तुझे इंजीनियरिंग करना है, तुझे मेडिकल करना है. अरे लेट हिम 3000 करियर्स, लाइफ में 3000 करियर्स है. लेट हिम डू वट एवर ही वांट्स टू. अपना काम अच्छे एजुकेशन देना है बस. ही विल फाइंड हिज ओन वे. लेट अस नॉट indulge him, क्योंकि he has lot of options. हमारे जमाने में options नहीं थे. But now, so my two questions also कि identify, teachers should upgrade themselves to really understand the view of the student. एक. And second, if at all I am stuck up, like it has happened with me also. I did my engineering क्योंकि marks अच्छे थे, घर वाले बोलते थे. Now what am I doing? I am into stock markets. So completely diversion है. But whenever you identify, well, this is not my way of EA, and I am doing engineering or I am doing medical because of my parents, not for me. They should know, they should stand firm, because that is your life. But you should understand. You cannot say कि मेरे टाइम में मुझे गाइड करने वाला कोई नहीं था. बस टुडे सबसे अच्छा गाइड अगर आप बात करोगे तो आपका गूगल सर्च है. They are the best guides. We cannot say कि अरे मुझे बताने वाला कोई नहीं था, because we never asked questions. हम लोगों के स्कूल में क्वेश्चनिंग करने ही नहीं देते. कि क्वेश्चनिंग करने दे तो हम लोगों को बोलते ज्यादा बात करने लगा है, बैठ चुप बैठो. So we should be in a position to ask questions. Ask questions about your career. कि I am good at this. There are a lot of counselors now available one to one. Speak up. Start meeting good people. If you are stuck up in engineering also now, in the second year, third year, start speaking to people what you really love to do. Make a journal, make a writing. So have a habit. I my father used to tell me to keep writing everything. लेकिन तभी मैं बोलता था कुछ भी बोलते हैं, because कुछ भी बोलते हैं. But at the age of 45, I realized the mistake of not writing, and from that day I started writing whatever I thought, and that is giving me clarity. लेकिन हमको कभी पता चलता है when we are in a complete differences. So my growth mindset started in the last 10 years. तो पहले I was in a fixed mindset. Everything कुछ हो गया ना तो मम्मी पापा के ये करो, ये सब तुम्हारी वजह से हुआ। बॉस ठीक है, मेरी वजह तुम्हारी वजह से क्या हुआ? So we are always blaming others. And अगर if you want to be the growth mindset, take responsibility. You cannot blame others for your career. वो जमाना गया अभी, अपना जमाना है कि टेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, टेक द स्टैंड एंड लेट्स नॉट ब्लेम आवर पेरेंट्स. See, parents will do whatever they can in their, they cannot go beyond some points. So this is what my learning, personal learning is. Then I started realizing why he was telling us to do all these things, to have a good company. Whenever he used to tell us अच्छे लोगों के नाम, मैं बोला यार ये हमेशा अच्छे अच्छे, बिकॉज स्कूल में क्या होता है, जो बुरे लड़के ना उनके पास जाने का मन करता है, अच्छे लड़के का क्योंकि उसको कंपेयर किया जाता है, बिकॉज इट्स अ माइंडसेट, इट इज हियर. एंड व्हेनेवर ही यूज्ड टू टेल अस, मुझे लगता था कि क्यों ये हमेशा बात करते हैं ऐसा, व्हाई इज ही टेलिंग मी टू बी इन द गुड सर्कल ये. एंड आई यूज्ड टू लाइक अदर पर्सन जो मारा मारी है, ये है डूइंग समथिंग ऑड, बिकॉज दे बिकम अ रोल मॉडल्स. So choose your role models. You have the choice. Choose your role models because they are going to be a guiding force for you to really go. So since there is now we are really it is 5:53 and we are dot into 1 hour. So thank you very much. So I can share my number if anybody wants to have questions. My number is 98921 37800. So if anyone else, they can always WhatsApp me for whatever reason they want. So thank you, Anisha, for having me on this great platform and really interacting with all the people. And you guys, I really said you guys are doing a really great job because that is where the growth mindset starts bringing up. So once again, on behalf of Synergy, on behalf of everyone, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you.